Hello, everybody. This is Saurabh. Welcome to the Options Engineer channel. This session covers Skyline 0DTE end of day version 1.0, a fast-paced educational case study. This variant requires discipline and suitable market conditions. It is not intended for every session. I will cover selected setup and playbook considerations more deeply in coaching. The demo will show how the position moved from defined risk through gated adjustments into a zero model car state before settlement. The process, not the final gain, is the main lesson. The focus here is the change in risk state. The trade began as a defined risk position. The playbook then added control only when the structure reached the required region. Before settlement, the combined position reached zero model car slash no loss risk trade with a positive payoff already established. The final market move expanded the payoff through convexity. The larger outcome is useful to study, but it is not a promise or the main message. The life cycle is straightforward to describe. Qualify the setup, open the defined risk structure, observe the payoff map, location, apply only the permitted adjustment, and let the position settle. The hard part is execution. The playbook must be defined before the market accelerates. If the favorable region condition is not met, no adjustment is forced. The demo will show the detailed states, fills, and settlement path. The adjustment gate is based on payoff map location, not emotion. Outside the favorable region, the correct action may be observation. Inside the favorable region, the next step is already defined by the playbook. In this replay, the sequence changed the combined structure into a zero model car state before settlement. Now I will move to the Options Engineering OS and will walk through this timeline. Now we are in the Options Engineering OS, and I have loaded the options data for last 20 minutes from July 31st, Friday, 2026. And we are going to walk through the structure at a high level and then the execution of it. So here we have four 10-point wide butterflies having an overlap of 5 point each with the pins at 7475, 7490, and 7505, 7520. So this structure is already in place based on how the market moved. The structure was created to meet the kind of the one of the desired pins of 7505 at that point in time to start one of the butterflies at the pin. So as we move to 3:45 p.m. Eastern, this is where the entry of the overall structure is started. And we can just walk through on how that looks. So here we have the $160 of paid capital at risk, $806 of debit, and max profit of $340. So let's now continue and start observing how the market spans out here. As we move forward here, market is hanging in the similar range near one of the pins of 7505. We continue monitoring that, and it does move up slightly and then starts to come back here. At this point, it's getting close to a few minutes left before the close of the market, and the overall trade value has come up to a certain extent. So what we're going to do is look at, so we can see that the overall structure value has come up by $93 and 58.1% on the car, which is a good return. We could try to close it here. The option I'm going to go with here is to add some adjustments. So the adjustments was already in place if in case the market stayed in the favorable region. So the first adjustment is a 5-point butterfly, 7505, 70, 500, and 7495. So like on the left of the pin. So we get that in here. That increases the car and can reduces some level of profit if the market uh, moves out of that range. So now let's continue on. So we continue here, and I'm simulating what was captured as part of the real execution. So I'll share that later in the session today. So at 3:56 p.m. Eastern, the market is still in that range, and call 5-point butterfly is added from 7505, 7510, and 7515. The reason is to, if market settles outside of 7505 and not exact pin, at least it has few points to normalize the gains that might be there. Let's continue moving forward here. And we get to 358. At this point, and another adjustment was added, which was a combined call spread and a put debit spread, as the price of those debit spreads on the outer side of the 5-point butterflies, 7510, 7515 for the call, and 7495 for 74500, had come down significantly. So this makes adding these made the trade risk-free and or close to risk-free, and then we move forward. So we have close to 2 minutes left in the market closure here, and this is the whole combined structure. I'm going to zoom into this now, as we have put certain adjustments there, and the left and right we have two peak points still in place. So as we move forward here and look at how the trade is behaving as an overall trade, so we can see there is a profitability and there is no capital at risk now, and the trade is risk-free. So we have a few dollars in profitability. I think it's around 15-20% at this point on the overall capital at risk that was started with. And now let's get to the close here. And we can see at the close, market drops 15 points for this structure, which works favorably. And we have a PNL of 633, which is close to 400% return on the initial car that was started, and then that was converted to risk-free, and then the market moved favorably towards one of the uh, other pins. So let's move back to the session now. These screenshots are execution references, not trade instructions, while the OS replay and my narration use Eastern time. The broker times therefore appear 1 hour earlier. The screenshots help reconcile actual fills with the model state. Some fills may appear separately because overlapping strikes can create broker order conflicts. That is an execution detail, not a separate strategy. The key lesson is execution discipline. The adjustments were prepared in advance, permitted only by the favorable region gate, and validated through actual fills. The combined position reached zero model capital at risk / no loss risk-free before settlement, and the final move expanded the payoff. This is a process replay, not a headline return video. Skyline research can be applied across multi-DTE, 0DTE, and end-of-day timeframes, but each requires its own playbook. As the timeframe shortens, monitoring, fill quality, and decision gates become more important. The structure changes, but the engineering method remains consistent. Define risk, monitor location, follow the playbook, and replay the outcome. Key closing points. First, the lesson is the key risk state transition, not the size of the final gain. Second, fast trades require predefined gates. No favorable region means no forced adjustments. Third, replay turns one example into system improvement. I cover selected setup conditions, playbook design, execution discipline, and replay methodology in educational coaching at theoptionsengineer.com/coaching. Please like, subscribe, and comment with the questions you would like me to explore next.